I thought various things that I do anyway, that I was doing at the time, and that would be a great thing to do. So I was very much in favour of that. I thought that funny books, for example, don't get enough press, that people produce funny books, but they're not celebrated. And I think funny books are sometimes about quite serious things. And so I created a prize for funny books to start off with the Roald Dahl family, and now with Scholastic. So that happens every year. So that was one thing I wanted to celebrate. And then also, as I'm a poet, I wanted to make quite a profile for poetry. So we did a set of gigs all around the country. I produced a book out of that, the A to Z of children's poets who are alive and around doing performance poetry for kids. And also I wanted to create a video channel for children to put poems up. And I tried to do it, and it was just, it was so complicated and difficult. And the irony is that I created my own, and now what happens is every day on Twitter, people send me videos of kids performing their poems. So I think, well, it's quite funny, sort of, whatever it is now, 10 years later. In actual fact, Twitter has become a kind of platform for children to perform poems that teachers and parents put up. And it's nearly always off the back of my own, because in the background there's my mug sitting there doing chocolate cake or something, and the children performing. Just today I got the one of, I think it's my one about the car trip. Look, there's a lamppost. And so the children are doing that. So some of these things were what came out of it. But I very much had at the core of it the idea that, which is the idea of the laureateship anyway, is that children's books are to be celebrated. And each one of us who's done it, we're now with Cressida Cowell, that's what we're interested in celebrating children's books in the public space, which is very sort of, it happens in fits and starts. There's one moment when it gets celebrated, and then months go by when nobody notices, and then there's a news item or something happens, or there's a movie where there's a book connected with it, and everyone gets excited about children's books again. But there's a sort of, it's peaks and troughs, it really is. Whereas those of us in the children's book world would like to see a sort of permanent celebration of it, because this is as important as learning how to read at the beginning, is learning to want to go on reading.